I took my husband to work and now my boss is in love with him. My husband Aaron isn't just good looking. He's the kind of guy who gets stopped at Target by talent scouts. Baristas write their numbers on his cups. Old ladies at the grocery store tell me I'm lucky to have snagged him. It's exhausting, but I love him, and he's genuinely oblivious to it all. He thinks people are just being nice. So, when the company holiday party came around, I figured why not bring him. He'd been asking to see where I work, meet my team, we'd eat mediocre catering, make small talk, and leave early. Simple. I should have trusted my gut. The second we walked into the venue, my boss, Angela, locked onto him. Not subtle glances, full predator mode. She materialized out of nowhere, intercepting us before we even got our name tags. You must be Aaron. I've heard so much about you. She grabbed his hand with both of hers, holding it way too long. I'm Angela, the one who gets to work with your amazing wife every day. The whole night she hovered, laughing too loud at his jokes, touching his arm when she talked, asking him detailed questions about his freelance marketing work while completely ignoring me standing right there. Aaron, bless his oblivious heart, thought she was just being friendly. Your boss seems nice, he whispered to me during dinner. I smiled through gritted teeth. Sure, super nice. I thought it was mortifying but temporary. The party would end. Life would go back to normal. Then Monday happened. Angela called me into her office first thing. Your husband mentioned he does freelance marketing, right? My stomach dropped. I've been thinking we should bring him on as a consultant for the Reynolds campaign. I'll handle the contract personally. Angela, I don't think that's appropriate. He clearly has the expertise and I love supporting employee families. She smiled like she'd just done me a favor. Within a week, she was finding reasons to email him. Strategy questions that definitely didn't need her personal attention. LinkedIn connection requests. Then came the client meeting invitations, lunch meetings I wasn't included in despite working on the same accounts. She's just being professional, Aaron said when I brought it up. It's networking. I wanted to believe him, but my coworkers started noticing too. Angela's spending a lot of one-on-one time with your husband, my desk neighbor whispered one day. Just be careful. The breaking point came last Tuesday. Aaron left his laptop open while taking a shower. A notification popped up, Angela's name and urgent. I know I shouldn't have looked, but I did. The messages weren't about work. They were personal, flirty. Love talking with you today. You get me in ways most people don't. Sometimes I wonder what my life would be like if I'd met someone like you earlier. That shirt you wore yesterday? Devastating. My hands physically shook, reading them. I scrolled up, weeks of messages, her initiating every time. Aaron responding politely but professionally, giving nothing back, just answering work questions. I took screenshots of everything. That night I showed Aaron. His face went pale. I swear I didn't encourage this. I thought she was just being friendly. I was trying to be professional. I know, I said. And I did, but it didn't make it less disgusting. I confronted Angela the next morning. Stayed calm, professional. Printed copies of the messages. Angela, these messages to Aaron need to stop. They're inappropriate. She barely glanced at them. Then she actually smiled. This cold, calculating smile. I don't know what you're talking about. We have a professional consulting relationship. But if you're feeling insecure about your marriage, maybe this job isn't the right fit for you anymore. A threat. She was threatening my job. My hands went numb, but I'd prepared for this. This conversation is being recorded, I said quietly, for my protection. Her smile vanished. That afternoon, I went straight to HR. Rita reviewed everything and went pale. I need to make a call, she said, leaving me alone in her office. 30 minutes later, she returned with someone from corporate. We've been building a case against Angela for months, he explained. Other complaints, other women's husbands. My hands started shaking. We needed someone to come forward with concrete evidence, someone she'd go too far with. Rita looked uncomfortable. When you mentioned bringing Aaron to the party, we saw an opportunity. They'd used me, used my husband as bait. The problem, the corporate investigator continued, is that Angela knows. She figured it out this morning. He showed me security footage from the parking garage. Angela getting into her car, following Aaron's. My brain literally just stopped working for a second. I stared at the security footage like it was in a different language. What do you mean following? I asked, but I could already see it on the screen. Angela's black sedan pulling out right behind Aaron's truck, staying 2 car lengths back. This was taken 20 minutes ago, the investigator said. His name was David, something. I honestly can't even remember his last name because I was in full panic mode. She left right after you came to HR. I grabbed my phone and called Aaron. Straight to voicemail. I called again. Nothing. He doesn't answer when he's driving, I said, my voice shaking. He puts his phone on silent. Always. It's like this whole safety thing he's obsessed with. Rita went pale. We need to contact building security. And legal. David was already on his phone, talking fast to someone, using words like liability and immediate threat. I tried Aaron again. Voicemail. I wanted to scream. I'm going after him, I said, grabbing my purse. Wait, you need to. Rita started, but I was already running. I heard David behind me saying something about staying on the line, keeping my phone on speaker. I didn't care. My hands were shaking so bad I could barely unlock my car. I knew Aaron's route home. He took the same roads every single day. First the highway, then off at exit 32, through the residential area with all the big trees. I sped out of the parking garage, nearly clipping a concrete pillar, my phone pressed between my shoulder and ear while David talked to me about coordinating with security to pull more parking garage footage. I wasn't listening. I was calling Aaron over and over. Come on, come on, come on. I kept whispering. Nothing, just his voicemail. Hey, it's Aaron, leave a message. On the 6th call, he finally answered. Babe, what's wrong? I'm driving. Aaron, listen to me. My voice came out way too high. Is there a black sedan behind you? Like right behind you? What? Why would... I heard him pause. Actually, yeah, there is. Why? That's Angela. I could barely get the words out. She's following you. She knows about the HR complaint. She's literally following you right now. You're serious. It wasn't a question. I heard the fear in his voice. That edge that meant he believed me. Oh my God. She's been behind me for like, I don't know, 3 miles? I thought it was just coincidence, but she's taking every turn I take. Do not go home, I said. Do you hear me? Don't go to our apartment. Drive to the police station on Monroe Street. Okay. I could hear him breathing fast. She just switched lanes and she's right behind me now. David's voice came through my car speaker. He was still on the line somehow, on a 3-way call. Aaron, this is David from corporate. I need you to stay calm and keep driving. Do not engage with her. Do not pull over. Who the hell is that? Aaron asked. Corporate investigator. Long story. Just listen to him. Aaron was taking random turns now, trying to lose her. I could hear the panic in his voice as he narrated. She's still there. I just turned left on Maple and she followed. This is insane. This is actually insane. I'm coming to meet you at the station, I said. I'm maybe 10 minutes away. She's pulling up next to me, Aaron said suddenly. We're at a red light and she's in the next lane. Don't look at her, David said. Keep your eyes forward. She's rolling down her window. She's gesturing for me to pull over. Aaron's voice was tight. Her face is completely calm, like she's asking me to pass the salt or something. It's terrifying. The light's green, I heard him say. I'm going. Screw it, I'm running it. Aaron, I shouted, but I heard horns blaring through his phone. Other drivers swerving. I'm fine, but she's still behind me. She ran it too. I was pushing 80 on the highway now, weaving through traffic. My heart was pounding so hard I could feel it in my throat. This couldn't be happening. This was my boss. My professional, composed, always in control boss who ran board meetings and approved expense reports. And she was chasing my husband through residential neighborhoods like some kind of stalker from a movie. I got to the police station first, barely parked before I was running inside. The officer at the desk looked up, annoyed at first, probably thought I was going to complain about a parking ticket or something. My husband is being followed by a woman, I said, breathless. She's stalking him. They're on their way here right now. The officer, this older guy with gray hair, raised an eyebrow. Ma'am, are you sure it's not just... She's been harassing him for weeks. We have documentation. Corporate's been investigating her. She followed him from his work and she's been chasing him for the last 20 minutes. The officer's expression changed. He picked up his radio, but before he could say anything, David walked through the door with Rita. Officer, I'm David Chen from Whitmore Corporate. I called ahead about a potential stalking situation. Apparently, David had called the station while I was driving. The officer nodded, suddenly more serious, and started asking questions. I answered what I could, but I kept looking at the door, waiting for Aaron. He pulled into the parking lot 5 minutes later. I saw him through the window, his truck jerking to a stop, and behind him, that black sedan, Angela. She stopped too, just sat there in her car. For a full minute, she didn't move, just stared at Aaron's truck. I ran outside. Aaron was getting out, his face pale, hands shaking. She just stopped, he said. She's just sitting there looking at me. We both turned to look at her car. Through the windshield, I could see Angela's face. Calm, expressionless, like she was waiting in line at the DMV. Then slowly, she put her car in reverse, backed up, and drove away. Nice and easy. Like nothing had happened. Did you get her license plate? The officer asked, coming up behind us. Yes, Aaron said. He was still shaking. I memorized it while she was following me, just in case. Inside the station, Aaron sat down in one of those plastic chairs and just stared at the floor. I sat next to him, holding his hand. It was cold. She knows where we live, he said quietly. She has my phone number, my personal phone number, my email. She knows my schedule. We're aware of the situation, the officer said, writing things down. But here's the problem. Technically, she hasn't broken any laws. She drove on public roads. She didn't threaten anyone or make contact. Are you kidding me? I felt myself getting angry. She stalked him. She chased him. I understand your frustration, ma'am, but following someone on public roads isn't illegal unless we can prove intent to harass or harm. We'll file a report. You can start the process for a restraining order, but that takes a few days. A few days, Aaron repeated. He looked at me. She's going to come to our place. You know she will. The officer softened a little. We can increase patrols in your neighborhood. And honestly, My advice is to stay somewhere else for a few nights. With family, maybe, until the restraining order goes through. David and Rita were still there, standing awkwardly near the door. Rita looked guilty, like she wanted to say something but didn't know what. David stepped forward. I need to explain something, he said. We've been building a case against Angela for 3 years. She's done this before. Done what? Aaron asked. Targeted employees' husbands. There have been at least 4 other cases. The problem is, she's smart. She covers her tracks, keeps things professional enough that we couldn't terminate her without risking a wrongful termination lawsuit. When you mentioned bringing Aaron to the holiday party, he looked at me. We saw an opportunity. You used us, I said. Yes. He didn't even try to deny it. And I'm sorry. We should have warned you she might escalate. That's on us. Rita finally spoke up. The lawyer from corporate headquarters is on his way. He's bringing all the evidence we've compiled. It might help with the restraining order. We waited. The lawyer showed up 30 minutes later with a briefcase full of printed documents, messages Angela had sent to Aaron, emails to other husbands from previous cases, testimony from other employees whose marriages she'd tried to interfere with. One woman's husband got flowers at his office every week for 2 months. Another got LinkedIn endorsements for skills he didn't even have. Angela had a pattern. The police agreed to file a detailed report and expedite the restraining order process, but it would still be a few days. In the meantime, the officer said, stay vigilant. Keep your phone on you. And seriously, don't go back to your place tonight. We decided to go to my parents' house. They lived across town, about 30 minutes away. We needed to pack bags first, though, just enough for a few days. Aaron didn't want to go back to the apartment at all, but we didn't have a choice. When we got to our building, my stomach dropped. Angela's car was parked across the street, just sitting there. She was inside. I could see her silhouette, watching our building. Call the police, Aaron said. His voice was flat. Call them right now. I did. They sent an officer within 10 minutes. Young guy, probably mid-20s, walked right up to her car. We watched from our apartment window. He talked to her. She was calm, smiling even, gesturing like she was having a normal conversation. After a few minutes, she started her car and drove away. The officer came up to our apartment after. She says she was just driving through the neighborhood. I explained that you filed a report and that continued contact could be considered harassment. She was very polite, said she understood. That's it? Aaron asked. She can just leave? Unless I can prove intent to harass? Yes. I documented the interaction. If she comes back, call immediately. We packed our bags fast. Clothes, toiletries, Aaron's laptop, my work stuff. The whole time I kept looking out the window, expecting to see her car return. We didn't talk much. What was there to say? At my parents' house, my mom took one look at us and immediately started making tea. Dad wanted to call the police again, call our lawyer, call somebody. I explained everything while Aaron sat on the couch, staring at his phone. You okay? I asked him later that night. We were in my old bedroom, the one with posters still on the walls from high school. She found a way to reach me, he said, showing me his phone. A LinkedIn notification. Angela had endorsed him for 15 different skills. Digital marketing, brand strategy, client relations, things he actually did, which somehow made it worse. She'd also written him a glowing recommendation. Aaron brings exceptional insight and creativity to every project. His strategic thinking is unmatched. Any organization would be lucky to work with him. Highly recommend. It's a power move, I said. She's showing us she can still reach you. I'm blocking her on everything, Aaron said. LinkedIn, email, everything. But the damage was already there. We both knew it. She'd gotten in our heads. The next morning, Rita called me. Angela's been placed on immediate paid administrative leave pending investigation. We're sending a security escort to remove her from the building. When? I asked. Right now. It's happening as we speak. I wish I could have seen it. Apparently, Angela didn't even react. Stayed calm and professional the whole time. Smiled at coworkers as security walked her out. Didn't argue. Didn't make a scene. Just packed her desk in a box and left. The problem, Rita continued, is that she remotely wiped her office computer before we could preserve evidence. IT's trying to recover deleted files, but she was smart about it. Of course she was. Angela didn't do anything halfway. 2 days later, I got a certified letter. At my parents' address. The address we'd told nobody about. Not Rita, not David, not even our close friends. But somehow, Angela knew where we were staying. The letter was from her lawyer, demanding we retract all statements made to HR and police, or she'd sue for defamation and harassment. 10 pages of legal threats. I called the lawyer David had brought to the police station. His name was Greg, and he barely reacted when I read him parts of the letter. Common intimidation tactic. Ignore it. But the fact that she found your temporary address means she's tracking you somehow. Tracking us how? Phone, car, could be anything. I'd have Aaron's car checked. Aaron took his truck to a mechanic that afternoon. He came back pale. They found something. Under the rear bumper. A GPS tracker. I felt sick. How long has it been there? No way to know. Could have been weeks. The mechanic had removed it and put it in a plastic bag. We took it straight to the police station. This time, they actually seemed concerned. This is concrete evidence. the officer said. Different officer than before, a woman this time. This is enough for an emergency restraining order. The restraining order was granted that same day, 500 feet. Angela had to stay at least 500 feet away from both of us. Our home, our workplaces, anywhere we were present. Violation could result in immediate arrest. Finally, Aaron said when we got the news. Finally something. I wanted to feel relieved, but something told me this wasn't over. 2 days later, I went back to work. My keycard didn't work at the front entrance. I tried 3 times before calling Rita. Why isn't my badge working? She was quiet for too long. Can you come up to HR? We need to talk. My desk had been cleaned out. Everything. My files, my pictures of Aaron, the plant I'd kept alive for 2 years, all gone. My computer login didn't work either. Rita looked miserable. Angela's lawyer sent a letter threatening to sue the company for creating a hostile work environment against Angela. You're joking. I wish I was. Corporate decided the safest move was to put you on paid leave as well. Just temporarily, while we sort out the legal situation. I did nothing wrong, I said. My voice came out louder than I meant. I'm the victim here. I know. We know. But Angela's lawyer is claiming you orchestrated a campaign against her, that you manipulated evidence, that you got corporate to set her up. That's insane. It is. But from a legal standpoint, separating both parties is the cleanest solution right now. You'll still get paid. Benefits stay active. It's just until this settles. I drove home, furious. Paid leave sounded great until you realized it meant Angela had won. She'd gotten me removed from my job. She'd made me the problem. That evening, someone sent flowers to our apartment. We'd gone back, figured the restraining order meant it was safe. The delivery driver handed Aaron a vase with 24 roses in it. Dead roses. Completely dried out, brown, falling apart. No card. The driver had no information about who sent them. Paid cash at a flower shop downtown. That's all I know. We called the police. They added it to the file. Said they'd follow up with the flower shop, see if there was security footage. But realistically, the officer said, unless we can prove Angela sent these, there's not much we can do. Aaron put the vase in the trash, but that night neither of us could sleep. Every sound in the hallway made us jump. Every car outside made me check the window. I started going through my electronics the next day. Laptop, phone, tablet. That's when I found it. Angela had somehow gained access to my work email. Not just current emails. Months of them, including personal messages I'd sent Aaron. Discussions about money, about our struggles with trying to have a baby, about my dad's health problems, about everything. She's been reading our private conversations for months, I told Aaron. Everything. Every single thing we talked about. He looked like he might be sick. How did she even get access? I don't know, work IT is looking into it. But she knew things, Aaron. She knew things she shouldn't have known. The deeper we dug, the worse it got. Angela had created fake social media accounts. Stock photos, fake names, fake everything. She'd been messaging Aaron's friends and former colleagues, posing as a recruiter, asking if Aaron was interested in relocating, asking about his availability, gathering information. She's been planning this for months, Aaron said. Maybe longer. Corporate's investigation kept uncovering more. 3 other employees whose husbands Angela had targeted. One case from 4 years ago. That employee, her name was Jennifer, reached out to me through LinkedIn after hearing about the case. She destroyed my marriage, Jennifer told me on the phone. Her voice was tired. She sent my husband photos that made it look like I was cheating. They were manipulated, photoshopped, but convincing enough that he didn't believe me when I denied it. We were divorced within 6 months. I'm so sorry, I said. Angela got promoted right after I quit. Funny how that works. Jennifer agreed to testify, provided evidence she'd kept. Emails, photos, documentation of everything Angela had done. Suddenly, the case against Angela wasn't just about Aaron and me. It was about a clear pattern of behavior spanning years. Angela violated the restraining order 2 weeks later. Aaron went to the gym one morning at 6. He always went to the same gym, same time, part of his routine. Angela was there, in the parking lot. Security footage showed she'd been waiting for 30 minutes before Aaron arrived. I didn't know he'd be here, she told the responding officers. Calm as ever. I just decided to try a new gym, but the security footage showed everything. Her waiting, watching the entrance, then approaching Aaron's truck when he came out after his workout. The officers arrested her right there. She spent 8 hours in jail before her lawyer posted bail. She has a criminal record now, Greg the lawyer told us. The judge extended the restraining order to 1,000 feet and ordered GPS monitoring. GPS monitoring? Ankle bracelet. She has to wear it. If she comes within 1,000 feet of either of you, we'll know immediately. While Angela was being processed, Aaron and I moved. New apartment across town. We used my parents' names on the lease. Didn't tell anyone at work. Aaron changed his gym, his grocery store, his coffee shop, everything. I hate that we have to do this, he said while unpacking boxes. I hate that she made us afraid to live our normal lives. I know. I keep thinking I see her car. Every black sedan makes me panic. Is this what it's going to be like forever? I didn't have an answer. Corporate finally terminated Angela 3 days later. For cause. The evidence was overwhelming. harassment, violation of company policy, misuse of company resources. Her lawyer immediately filed a wrongful termination suit, $2 million in damages. Let her try, David said when he called to tell me. Discovery is going to bury her. He was right. During discovery, Angela's personal computer was subpoenaed. The forensic team found everything. Detailed files on all 4 husbands, photos taken without consent, work schedules, social security numbers, personal information gathered through pretexting and social engineering. She'd been collecting data on these men for years. The forensics also revealed something worse. Angela had catfished 2 of the previous husbands using fake dating app profiles, testing them, seeing if they would cheat. When they didn't respond, she'd escalated to in-person contact through work projects. She was building cases against them, Greg explained. If they'd taken the bait online, she could have used that against their wives. When they didn't, she found other ways in. Angela's lawyer dropped her after seeing the forensic evidence. She had to represent herself in the wrongful termination suit. The preliminary hearings were a disaster for her. The judge asked pointed questions about the evidence, about the GPS tracker, about the fake profiles. Angela tried to claim she was the real victim, that the company had conspired against her because she was a woman in leadership. The judge wasn't buying it. Miss Angela, I've reviewed the forensic evidence, the GPS tracking device, the fake social media accounts, the documented pattern of harassment across multiple victims. Unless you have evidence of a conspiracy, I suggest you reconsider your position. The wrongful termination suit was dismissed with prejudice 3 weeks later. Angela was ordered to pay the company's legal fees, $70,000. She'll never pay that, Rita told me when I finally came back to work. I'd been offered my job back with a promotion and raise, but at least it's over. It wasn't over. Not for Aaron. He started having panic attacks. Middle of the night, he'd wake up convinced someone was in the apartment. He checked the locks repeatedly, 5, 6, 7 times before bed. He couldn't drive without checking his rearview mirror constantly. I think you need to talk to someone, I told him one night after he'd checked the door locks for the 10th time. I'm fine. You're not fine. Neither am I. What Angela did, it messed with us. It's okay to need help. He finally agreed to see a therapist. First session, he came home exhausted. She says I have PTSD. From the stalking. From feeling like I was being watched all the time. Did it help? Talking to her? Yeah, actually yeah. She says what I'm feeling is normal. That Angela violated my sense of safety and it's going to take time to rebuild that. The therapist helped. Slowly. Aaron admitted things in therapy he hadn't told me. That he felt guilty. That he thought he'd somehow encouraged Angela by being friendly. That he should have seen it coming. She told me that's a common response from harassment victims, he said one night, blaming themselves. But Angela's actions were never my fault. I was just being polite. I was being professional. I know, I said. I've always known that. I needed to hear it from someone else. The restraining order GPS kept tracking Angela. She drove past our old apartment 17 times in 1 week, even though she knew we'd moved. Police called to warn her that one more violation would result in serious jail time. She didn't show up at our old place again after that. But knowing she'd been circling it, like she was trying to find us, that stayed with me. The wrongful termination lawsuit being dismissed should have been the end. But Angela refused the prosecutor's plea deal. Mandatory psychiatric treatment and 5 years probation in exchange for pleading guilty to reduced stalking charges. She refused. Demanded a trial. She actually thinks she's going to win, Greg said. She's representing herself and she thinks she can convince a jury she did nothing wrong. The trial was surreal. 3 previous victims testified. Jennifer talked about the fake photos and her destroyed marriage. Another woman described Angela showing up at her husband's office unannounced, claiming they'd scheduled a meeting that never existed. A third talked about the constant texts, the boundary violations, the feeling of being hunted. The jury heard about the GPS tracker, the deleted files, the fake social media accounts, the restraining order violations, the detailed files on multiple men who'd never consented to being surveilled. Then Angela took the stand. Greg warned me it might be hard to watch. She's going to lie. She's going to try to make herself the victim. But what actually happened was worse. Angela had a complete breakdown. Started screaming about how Aaron led her on, how I'd poisoned everyone against her, how corporate set her up because they were jealous of her success. He smiled at me, she shouted at one point. He was interested, and then she turned him against me. She manipulated all of you. The judge called a recess. Officers had to remove Angela from the courtroom. She was still screaming, saying we'd all regret this, that the truth would come out. The jury deliberated for 90 minutes, guilty on all counts. Stalking, harassment, violating the restraining order. Angela showed no emotion when the verdict was read, just stared straight ahead, blank. Sentencing came 2 weeks later. 2 years in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised probation and mandatory psychiatric treatment. The judge also ordered her to pay restitution for our therapy costs, the security system we'd installed in our new apartment, and other expenses related to protecting ourselves from her. Does she have the money? Aaron asked Greg afterward. Probably not, but at least it's on record. Angela was let out in handcuffs. She looked at us once before they took her through the back door. Her expression was empty. Like we weren't even real to her. Like we'd never been real, just characters in whatever story she'd created in her head. Outside the courthouse, Erin held my hand. Is it really over? Yeah, I said. It's really over. But I knew it would take time before we actually believed that. Time before Erin stopped checking the rearview mirror every 5 seconds. Time before I stopped flinching when I saw someone who looked like Angela at the grocery store. Time before we felt safe again.